and welcome to TQ Talks, where we talk taxes and tax-free living 365. Here are your hosts, Craig White, Sebastian Singh, and Patrick Augustin.
And we're back with another TQ Talks.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us for another wonderful podcast. As you heard already, I am Craig White, one of your hosts, and you heard the wonderful voice,
Mr. Patrick Augustine.
Otherwise known as the Midnight Marauder over there. He sounds like he should be a radio host or a DJ or something.
We're going to figure that out. Sebastian Singh is here too.
There you go. And
we're all present.
Bassie's there. Guys, listen, it's another wonderful day in 2023.
23.
We're happy to be alive. We're happy to be able to do this. We're blessed. So we're going to jump into topics. It's tax season. You guys were already full swing into things. And people who are W-2 workers are complaining. Oh, you know, we didn't tell you who we were, right? If you haven't heard us before.
No, we got to do the whole intro.
Yeah, listen. We are a tax and advisory firm, and our job is to help our clients to increase the amount of money they get back for a refund or decrease what they owe, and that we do that through 365 days a year tax planning. We also use life insurance, little known things in life insurance, to help you to create wealth, not just for yourself, but for your generations to come. And yes, it's money you could use actually now. And back to our topic. You know, people were
the sweet spot. So this is actually what
sweet spot.
What we aim to do a lot is to
Man,
make
we need
sure
to name a restaurant the Sweet Spot.
All right. We can talk about restaurants. What would you like to
Could
serve?
be our side hustle.
Right. I want to know, are we selling baked goods? Because that's what it sounds like. I'm down, but the problem is we probably make zero profit knowing you and
We'll be eating it up.
Exactly.
Craig gonna be killing it. What?
Listen, if you don't put carrot cake in, a good one, I'm safe.
Gazada.
It's over. If it's fluffy, I mean, it depends. Like, I can get cookies, everything. I just don't like moussed products. But if you do anything else, it's a structure. That's a problem.
All right. So
anyway,
the sweet spot when it comes to taxes,
yes,
and clients,
yes,
and what's going on. So a lot of W-2 workers obviously are getting them in.
Yeah, so they get them in, and then we do. You know,
is what I mean.
Yeah, of course. And they come in, they say, "What can you do for us?"
Right.
You know. And I was listening to I don't even remember who it was, and I apologize.
Hold on, Craig. Before you
Yes.
start, a lot of our clients that are W-2 earners, they miscalculate their W-4 as far as their withholding.
Now you're gonna go deeper early.
That starts the trouble right there. Some of them they go exempt.
We don't even know what a W-4 is, Pat.
Well, this is where you choose how many dependents you're on to define how many taxes could be being withheld on your paycheck every pay period or whatever the case is.
Am I allowed to defend them?
Go ahead. You can try it.
So prior to last year,
We're
2023. So 2022 it changed, right?
Yeah.
You guys, I'm sure, have had the calls. We've helped people fill it out. So you guys want to know how I fill out the new ones now? Put your information in part 1, name, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Skip to part 4, sign it, send it in. Because part 2 and 3, guys, is asking you, how much are you going to earn? Are you going to make a side hustle? What's the number of the side hustle? How much of it? And then they're trying to come up with a perfect number. So that way, to your point, when you turn
trying to automate it.
That way you're coming to zero. You don't get a big refund if everything's perfect. And you also don't owe a dollar. So no. It is very complicated, and I understand what whoever, I guess the IRS, was trying to do with that form, whoever's in charge of that, but it is absolutely horrible.
Because no one reads it.
It's always been horrible, though, right?
God, it was bad before.
Yeah, before you had to add this number plus that one and subtract line 83.
I had like 38
It was more
dependents.
complicated than a 1040. I'm telling you.
Seriously, you're right.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was the way it was
people,
worded. It was horrible.
You probably did it. I did it at my job before. You're like, hey, you've been working here for a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. What do I put here?
Right.
All right, boom. Thank you. And that's it.
And then it asks you, do you have someone you could claim as a pet? Yeah, me. And do you have anybody others? Me. And you have this? Me.
Under
So now
16.
I got 3 people listed. And it's only me in the house.
And they're holding all the, or they're giving you all the money and then you owe it.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, yes, we understand, Pat, but the forms suck. The point on the sweet spot was if they did it all correctly.
Yes.
They did W-2, theoretically, right? And they come in and they say, okay, here you go. I'm using a single person, no kids, no nothing. No house, no nada. So we're not itemizing. We're just standard deduction. Here's my W-2.
do something with it.
Yeah, and we're like,
Do what?
Do something with it. So how can we help them get something out of that though, or how can we help them move differently?
so again, I really apologize for not remembering the gentleman. I hate taking people's information and not giving them credit for it, but the gentleman was saying, God, I'm trying to think so bad of his name. Anyway, he was talking about the fact that for his business, what he likes to do is he thinks that one of the things that's a sweet spot, or he didn't call it that, but I'm calling the sweet spot or saying sweet spot. He said what he likes is the W-2 workers that have side hustles. I don't like side hustles because IRS doesn't like side hustles. So I'm going to say that has a legitimate business that they're working on.
It has a small business.
Yes, they do hit a nice little area to where theoretically you have thought, a theory that at least the first 3 years you're going to be losing money.
Right.
So if you're structured correctly, you come to us, we talk, we tax plan. That's what we do, right? That's a shameless plug. We could teach you how to make the money that you would naturally spend become a benefit to you, Mr. or Mrs. W-2 worker.
We've covered this before too.
We have.
Right?
In everyone can be a small business.
What our hobbies are and,
Right.
and how
Yeah.
we could
Right.
turn that into
Right. And
our passions.
we're not going that way this time. We're not talking about the fact you can be. We already covered it. Everybody can be. The thing about it is if your complaint, use that word, right? If your complaint is that there is no benefit for the W-2 person because of deductions or whatever the case is, we're going to say, well, yeah, but nah. 'cause
Here's an option.
Here's your option, right? But it's not all gravy. I think that's the whole thing, at least for me, that I want to make sure. It is a great thing. We'll go over pros and cons of why you would want to do that, but it's not all gravy. You know what I mean? And that's where, at least for me, that's where we are.
So one of the pros is that it brings down your taxable income, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't owe as much overall because, it's a percentage rate.
Right. Right.
So
That's
that
huge.
It could bring you into different tax brackets. It could bring you down a couple, or
Right.
whatever the case may be. But of course, you won't be spending as much.
Right. Yeah.
And it helps to increase your refund or reduce your tax liability or what you would owe the IRS at
Right.
the end of the day.
And we're not talking about money that you're purposely spending just to lose money. It's, again, talking to us, right? Tax planning.
Right.
We would help you to structure a business that you 9 out of 10 would be spending the money on anyway. And that's the point. So instead of it just being money flying out the window, as they say, it would actually be going towards helping you now. So when you do present that W-2, you also present us hopefully with a profit and loss for the business for the bunch of stuff you're going to buy on Amazon anyway.
Anyway, exactly.
But again,
Not all
sorry,
gravy, though.
Not all gravy. Not
Our
all gravy.
cons.
Big cons.
So, of course, you have to set it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Come
we
over-
help set you up.
Yeah, come over to TQ Financial
We do that.
Services.
Did
We
like
got you.
4 this week, actually.
Yeah, so you got to set it up. You got to keep up with it,
Mm-hmm.
right? All the paperwork, like you said, the profit and loss
Documentation.
will end up with, of course, your purchases, your expenses, your income, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. Record keeping is a must, guys, and that becomes tedious, and a lot of people
right.
don't like it. So on social media, people will just spill it out. Everybody, small business. Da, 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 da. Okay, listen, it's not like that. It is, but if something happens, God forbid, you get audited, they need all the stuff we were put on the paperwork. If you don't have it,
You're screwed.
right,
Right.
good luck, right?
And then, of course, you got to renew every year.
yeah, you have to
Right?
renew.
You got to renew. You have to file properly.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do a partnership or
Yep.
anything like that, we got to make sure you file properly. But that's what we're here for.
Right. And
Right.
again, at the end of the day, the other part could be that you make money. I
Yeah.
know that's not.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which is a good thing. You're making money.
I call it a con purposely because what happens when you make more money, Pat?
Right. If we're
You're
talking
gonna
about
owe
how
more.
much you pay
Say, hold on.
taxes.
You're gonna owe more. You make more money, you're gonna owe more.
Right.
It's
So
obvious.
if you handed us the paperwork hoping to reduce your tax liability and we give you a bigger bill,
Right.
you're not going to be happy.
You
That's
come
what
to
it
us
goes down
with a P&L with a $30,000 net profit. Like what you expect me to do with that?
Right.
Yeah. But you made 30 grand.
You made 30 grand.
Exactly.
So how much are we complaining here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's so again, I list it as a con, but it's not really. So the bottom line is, you guys, W-2 workers, if you are really adamant, if you say, hey, something's got to give, I don't mind not owing, or maybe I owe a little bit, but because I filled out my W-4 correctly,
Right.
but I need more, then you got to do something. You got to
Yeah.
figure out what it is you
And we'll help you figure that out over here. Of course, every situation is different, so we got to see what you have going on personally.
Right.
If you're attached to anybody, a spouse or anything like
Yep.
that, dependents, XYZ, partners in businesses.
Yep. All different ball games, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
And please, I'm gonna emphasize, please call us to kind of set that up, because everybody go to setting up businesses with their
Spouses.
girlfriend,
Yeah.
spouses, and they
TikTok.
come in here and we have a business. No, it's a partnership now.
Right.
It's a different ball game.
No, we
it's a
have
different scenario.
We have partnerships or LLCs being treated as S corps already. I had that conversation already. I'm like, cool. How long you been in business? January.
Right. Just did it.
So why? And we're not going to go there. So
yeah.
anyway,
just call us.
No, but we will go there. Yeah. Give us a call.
Just-
Yeah.
just
and
call
we'll
us.
take care of you personally.
so again, W-2 workers. We hope this helps. Any questions? Let us know. We're all coughing and sounding like we have phlegm stuck everywhere, but it is what it is.
Just
we
work.
It's a bright morning.
We appreciate
It was a
you
late
joining
night
us.
and a bright morning.
Man,
Please
always.
continue to follow us on all social media platforms, as well as finding our podcast on all your podcasting platforms. TQ Talks, TQ Financial Services.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to TQ Talks. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and recommend on iTunes, SoundCloud, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also get more information at TQFinancials.com.